Welcome back to another video. In this one, we're gonna be hopping in the boat with Donnie O'Bert. We're gonna be chasing crappies. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's get right into the crappie catching action.
Rightio. I still not convinced, Charlie, that these new pan candies are gonna get eaten. Good grief. You better leave me a pile of these just so I can be sure. I'll do more testing.
I don't know. Might take them back with me.
No, there'll be no taking them back. You'll get left on an island.
I just snuck in on Donnie's little spot there.
Right under the
well, he was unhooking one.
Yeah.
Oh, good way to start the morning.
What body style pan candy was that?
I got the larvae bug on.
You got
pink.
The larvae. I'm throwing the minnow.
He just little pink larvae bug, black tungsten jig. Starting the morning off right with Donnie.
Come on, we sweet talk him out of the group.
What? Tell me something.
Boy, I'm a huge fan of microplastics for crappies. I mean, you can't miss that. You could have had a sip of coffee and set the hook on that one. Good grief.
Now, if you've been following along, you know that Northland has 5 new profiles in the Pan Candy series. So these are plastics specifically designed for panfish. So you have the minnow, you have the leech, you have the grub, you have the larvae bug, and you have the crawlers. So a few different profiles for a number of different situations. But now I'm gonna pass it off to Donnie and he's gonna talk specifically about how he likes to present these baits to get more bites.
Should be a nice drift. You know, I always like to keep it above them when you're fishing these crappies. If Nick took a look, they're about halfway up in that tree. And I really like keeping that bait above them. Those crappies, seems like they really wanna feed up. As soon as you drop down under them, they become disinterested. So I try to glide it through right at the top of them. I never saw myself come out of the tree there, but I know I did. Charlie, I think you're a little left.
Yeah.
Let's try to keep it above them and slow roll it. Just nice subtle pass through the tree. They really, there we go. Took that one right off the tree trunk. You see that? Well, the pan minnow, early testing has determined that's gonna be a success. I like that. I'll pop it out of here and give you a look. I mean, they are chomping it, like, no doubt. Charlie's hooked up. That looks like a little better fish.
Do they ever just nip at it, or do they just kind of woof it every time?
Well, right now it seems as though they're smoking it.
Yeah, they are.
Next, Donnie's gonna break down his rod and line setups that he likes to have ready to go when he's chasing big crappies.
Just kind of cruising between structures here and saw a couple of better fish in the mud, so cracked one out there and managed to pop that one. We're still in between structures. You know, the setup I use for chasing these crappies is I really like the JT Outdoor Products 7-foot panhandler with braided line, 6 to 8 pound braided line, and a 6-pound fluorocarbon leader. And I like that leader to be a couple feet long. Jeremy, can I get them little pliers?
Yep.
I think that fluorocarbon leader is kind of important for crappies, not so much for preventing getting bit off as much as, you know, crappies have better eyesight than you think. So just hiding that braid a little bit, using a clear fluorocarbon leader will help you get more bites.
Another big topic, especially if you're gonna be picking up some of these plastics, is color. So Donnie's gonna share some of his theories thoughts and experiences when it comes to colors for crappies?
Some days color can really make a difference. Today doesn't seem to be that day. Charlie, that's a nice fish. You can see I'm running a smelt color. Charlie, what color you got?
I got pink on.
You've got pink on. Jeremy, what are you throwing?
Blue and silver.
Blue and silver, and everyone's getting crushed, but there are definitely some days where color is going to make a big difference, and I think that has a lot to do with how much sunlight is penetrating the water column. So clouds, no clouds, high sun, you know, a lot of wind on the water will diffuse sunlight penetration. So don't be afraid to experiment with 3-4 different colors, kind of depending on the conditions of the day.
Now these plastics are made of TPE material, which is stretchy, it's more durable, it's buoyant, and it's just a totally different material than what most plastics are made out of, which is a PVC type plastic. So Donnie's gonna talk about that topic right now and why using TPE is such a big advantage when it comes to crappies.
This grub's never hit bottom, you guys. I pitched it out there and was watching Jeremy, and that's gonna be pretty good. That's gonna be a pretty good fish. That's the new pan candy.
That one was the grub too, eh?
Yeah, look at this thing. Never hit the bottom. Got her next to the tree and she just smoked it. Beautiful. And that's with the Crappie King 1/8 ounce. Tungsten, man, I love that jig. So one of the cool things about the pan candy is, just like the eye candies, this is a buoyant material. So if you are using a live scope or any live presentation, you know, sometimes it's advantageous to use a little bit heavier jig. It sinks faster, you can hit your targets faster, or even if it's windy, you know, a heavier jig is going to get down a little faster. But a buoyant plastic on there will actually fish a heavier jig a little bit slower, and sometimes that decrease in speed horizontally on your retrieve can trigger strikes.
All right, let's wrap up this video with Donnie breaking down the 5 profiles in this new pan candy lineup.
Northland is coming out with some new microplastics. They're going to be the same TPE material that the eye candies were made out of, and these are going to be called pan candies. We got a couple different shapes and sizes. That's going to be the minnow. It's got a sweet little forked tail on there, and that thing has proven to be pretty deadly. We've got larva, and these are fishing really well on the small Crappie King jigs. We got I think my favorite of these new styles would be the grub. This thing has been absolutely lights out for me, especially for crappies this year. We got a little tiny pan candy leech, and the pan candy jig crawler. This is identical to the walleye size jig crawler, only smaller. Incredibly durable baits. I've got a lot of fish on one bait. Not typical 3-4 fish and put a new one on. I mean, I'm getting a whole day out of these. That TPE is so durable. Boy, I tell you, I just don't I don't think you're gonna find a better plastic for panfish on the market right now.
All right, well, that's about all we got for you in this video. Special thanks to Capt and Donnie for sharing a bunch of good tips and helping us put a bunch of big panfish on screen as well. So if you enjoyed this video and you learned something, make sure to hit that little red subscribe button down below, because we have a lot more awesome content coming in the future. And until then, we will see you in the next one.